Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's still the same day, it's still Saturday. I hope that you guys are doing well when you see this. So in the last video, I did an update and I did share about a blessing that I received, clothing. So I got 3 bags of clothing, 3 big trash bags full of clothes, really nice clothes too. And it it was just like, wow, like that kind of feeling. Like I had been talking to God about some things and just like hashing this over in my mind about how I've been losing weight, right? And more recently, which was about July-ish, I had to get rid of all of my leggings that I had, my capris, the long leggings, because they were all about 1 to 3 sizes too big. So I was holding on to them. And a lot of my sweaters, a lot of my winter stuff, is gone. So I was thinking I'm gonna have to buy a whole new wardrobe, right? Come winter or fall. I have some things that I've kept that I'm hoping will not look too big, although they are like a couple sizes too big, some dresses. And what I did with those, my plan with that is to wear, if I don't wear them, like if I wear them and I don't feel like if they look too big on me, then I will find someone who will love them. I need to learn to let go of these things because I can find some. I'm sure they'll sell the same ones again in Walmart or wherever, and they'll be in a smaller size, hopefully, or something similar. So, okay, so in this clothing that I got, the shirts range from like large to maybe about 1X or so. There are some a little bigger, but most were in the range of large to extra large. And I was like, these aren't going to fit me. They're not going to fit me. They're going to be too big and, or too small, I mean. And the bigger ones, I thought those might fit me, but I was thinking, we'll see. Bigger ones fit me too big. Almost all the large and extra large fit me. Now the large are a little tighter, so they fit, but they're tighter than what I normally like. But I thought, well, I'll keep some of them because my plan is to fit into them. So the shirts, normally those, I don't have as much issue with. Some I do. There was a lot of these really beautiful, like crocheted lace shirts that have like an under shirt underneath them, like attached. They don't have sleeves, which I don't wear those normally, but I have a lot of the some shirts that were my mom's that just go over there, like the button up. I'm like, I could just wear those with those shirts, and like they're fall colors. Some are fall colors, some are like whatever. I don't know. I'm just excited. They're just beautiful and things that I always looked at and thought I would love to try something like that, but at the time I couldn't afford them. I still can't afford them that much. I mean, not a lot of that stuff. I mean, maybe if I found something like that at Walmart. The problem was always trying these things on, and the sizes. I always thought that's not going to fit me. They're in the women's, like the women's and junior section, not in the plus size section. So I'm like, oh, they're not going to fit me. They're not going to fit me. And so I tried them all on, and they fit me. And I was like, what happened? Because in my mind, I see the scale. I see that I've lost weight. I know that I no longer weigh 250 pounds. I'm at like 178. But I still see the same thing. I still go to the store and I'm like, that's not going to fit me. I got to go straight to the plus size section. And yes, there's still some in the plus size section. Like this, I think they're like 0X, which is like 14. Some of them fit, although what I've noticed, they fit a little bit wider. I'm not, they don't fit me that well. But in these bags, there was a whole bunch of jeans. Jeans have always been a struggle for me because when they fit my waist, which I've talked about this before, when they fit my waist, the legs are too big. So they're longer, they're wider, they make me look shorter, and they make me look heavier. My phone is doing the little glitchy thing again. Okay, hopefully this works. I restarted it, so let's see. Okay, so where was I? Oh, the jeans. So I was looking at some of these jeans, and I'm thinking they ranged in size from 14. There were some 14s, one 15. The majority were 16, and there was a couple of 18s. And I'm like, those aren't going to fit me. Those are too small. Though remember, in July I bought some shorts at Walmart, some jean shorts, and they were size 14. Still have not got through my thick skull. That's why when I would go like to buy stuff like that, I would never do it because it was so embarrassing. I would have to get like, I think I was wearing maybe a size 22 in jeans, 22, whatever, yeah, around there. And even when they started getting bigger and they started falling off a little bit, I was like, no, I just never can wear jeans again because the legs never fit me. They're always too wide, too long, and I'm not going to find something that fits my waist and all of this stuff. Because most of my fat overweightness is in my midsection. I don't have big legs. I have always had muscle in my legs and in my arms and stuff like that, but never like big hips or big legs or anything like that to where it would fill out these kind of pants that are made for plus size women for the most part. The waist would fit and everything else wouldn't. Okay, so I stopped going through there to get them. I wasn't going to try on stuff. It was too embarrassing to go get a size whatever, size 18 it wouldn't fit, size 20 it wouldn't fit, size 22 and it barely fit or whatever. And I was like, I'm not doing this to myself anymore. I couldn't deal with it. And so now I'm still stuck in that. And I know that a lot of the decisions that I made personally got me to where I was at and to where I am today. Not like not a victim of anything. Now, yes, there was health issues that I did not know about when I was younger, and I should have taken care of them. I should have said something. I should have all that. So even though a lot of my issues stem from health issues I knew nothing about that was going on in my body, when I wasn't feeling well, instead of pretending I was fine, I should have spoken up. So even that decision is my own. Now, granted, maybe it wouldn't have changed things. Maybe it would have. Maybe I would never have gotten to 250 pounds and had high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes and fibromyalgia and just all these host of autoimmune, all these things going on, right? Maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe I still would have. I don't know. I can't live two lives, my husband always says, but I didn't take care of it, and now I am. Now I have to make these decisions. So when I got into the clothing, I was like, oh, I'm going to try everything on, but I'm going to do it at home. And so I was like, fashion show for my husband, right? I'm like, let me try this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Still, the jeans still fit just a little bit long, but they're boot cut, some of them. And I do have some boots, thanks to my sister, Jermaine. She had given me some, I think they're called Baby Fat. I think they're Justin's or something. There's like two of them that I have. And then she'd given me these like combat boot looking Harley Davidson boots that will go good with some of the other, even over leggings of some of the shirts, because I didn't know what to wear those with. I didn't have anything really dressy anymore because I had gotten rid of a lot of stuff, and I was like in my sweatshirt and leggings, which I guess they could go with sweatshirts, certain kind. Anyway, I digress. But so I was trying on these things, and I'm thinking, okay, you bought 14s, so try on the 14s first. Leave the other ones. And I tried them on and they all fit, and I'm like, and they fit just a tad bit bigger, like a little comfier, like they're not tight. They're one of them, the way it's made fits just right, but it's not uncomfortable. And that's where the other story comes in. Where my issues with trying on clothes probably comes from. When I was younger, like I said, I started gaining weight around, I'd say it was around 13. Just a little. I mean, I was probably by that time wearing a size 5. Looking at it now, I'd be like ecstatic if I wore a size 5 now. But at that age, was a little big, or so I was told, and made to feel like I was the fattest kid in the world. When in reality, looking at my pictures now, I'm like, I was not that much bigger than most of them. But anyway, so as I gained a little bit more weight, and a lot of the reason I gained weight is because I was so stressed out about it. I was not feeling well. I had PCOS. Now that I know what it is, that's what was going on. And I may have had Hashimoto's at that time, or hypothyroid at least by that time. All that, and I was not eating correctly. I was barely eating, but what I was eating was bad. And then sometimes I would binge eat, not like a whole lot, but still, like more than I should, like a whole bag of chips or something like that. Maybe not a whole bag, but you get the idea. And I was just so stressed all the time and wanting to hide, and just like anxiety about being around people, dealing with people, like, and I mean, I love people. I think they're great, but there's just, I get really overwhelmed very easily. So when I noticed that I was not fitting into the size 5s anymore, and I had to go to 7, I was like, how am I supposed to explain this? And I'm in a size 9. And it would be one thing if I would have just needed new clothes because those were worn out. But it's another thing when you have to go tell your mom, hey, well, I don't fit into my clothes anymore. And it's embarrassing. And like, my mom was never like the type of person to say, oh, you're fat or anything like that. But she was always very, very, very thin when she was young. I don't think she actually like gained much weight until after she had my brother, which she was like 31, and even then she was like really thin. I mean, like, until maybe her 50s, 60s, she weighed a little bit more. But even that, like, not much. And she was always one that was always like wanting to walk and lose weight. Like, she always needed to be losing weight. So I think because she thought that about herself, even though she was thin, I think it got stuck in our heads too. Because my sister Jermaine struggles with that, as like I do. I think Swan might. I'm not sure. She never really talked about that really, but I've noticed that I do. I struggle with that, but I struggle with it in a way where I allowed. I think part of it, I allowed myself to gain the weight so people would leave me alone. No one would talk to me. People would leave me alone. I did get made fun of course, and everything like that, because there's some kids are just bullies, and some adults are too. But there was other things that happened in my life that's how I dealt with it. I figured if I gain weight, people would leave me alone. And so I think I used that as a shield, as a just as like putting a wall around myself. And it was that kind of thinking that led me to being 250 pounds. And the interesting thing is I didn't even realize it, really. Oh, Grandma's laying right here by me. He was twitching a little bit, so I'm petting him so he can go back to sleep. But it's just one of those things that has carried on into my adult life, right? Into my 47th year of life. And I struggle with it still. I struggle with the fact that I have lost weight. I can't even like enjoy the wins because I'm still considered obese. And even though I've done what I need to do for the most part, hold on. Oops. I think my microphone is going to die. So let me turn on the other one. Hopefully you can still hear me as I'm. Finally caught it. It blinks a little bit before it's gonna die. So I was able to catch it before it died on me, and the whole rest of it would be silent. But that's, I just struggle with it, and I'm trying to learn how to celebrate the wins and enjoy the fact that I can fit into smaller clothing, because I think that's going to help me to lose the last bit of weight that I have to lose. So today I was figuring some stuff out in my journal, of course. So I finally started this pain scale thing. So I've been checking, and my pain, it was a lot lower today than it has been. So that was great to look at. Now, where was I? Maybe it's not in my journal. Maybe it was in my morning pages. I was trying to figure out where I would be if to be considered like a normal weight, right? For 411.5. So I looked up 411 because they don't go by the halves, right? So according to what I saw on Google, and I don't remember what website it was, at my height, I should weigh 91 to 115. I don't know. I feel like that's really tiny for me, but, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would see if I actually got there. So that's considered, it's the first one on the scale, on the little chart, but it says that's considered moderate weight. So when I put in my weight and my height, it did tell me that I was at like a 38 BMI. I was at like a 46 before or higher. So that's good to see. But at where I kind of landed in sort of is because I had thought, okay, my goal this year is to lose 40 pounds. So I started out the year at about 180, like the 186. I was thinking about 180 because I was jumping between 180 and 186. So I counted it as 180 at the time. Because I thought maybe I'll, start out the year at 180, because I think I was 186 at the end of last year. I'm not even sure, but I figured I'd be somewhere in the range of 135 to 140 if I lost 40 pounds this year. So at the 135, between 119 and 138 actually is considered overweight for my height. But I was like, if I could get there, I'd be happy. Get out of this range of, obesity. So in order for me to get to that, the high end of that, the 138, I'd have to lose 63 pounds total. And I'm thinking, can I do this? What do I have to do this? So it's making sure I get enough water, because I'm struggling with that. Oh, it's all sticky. I'm struggling with my water intake for whatever reason. Some of my blood work showed that there's something going on that it could indicate dehydration, and that's what I think is going on. Because the other things, it's possible, but I think it's more dehydration because I am struggling with my water intake. I should get through 2 of these a day at least, and I've been getting through like 1 maybe. I mean, it's horrible, and then I do want to get to the gym. So that's my next part of this whole clothing thing, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, so right now I was able to fit into the 114s, large, extra large, and I think the shirts will fit for quite a while because some of them are, like I said, a little tighter. Once I do start getting to something, I'm not going to be able to have any of the jeans anymore. I guess I could wear a belt. But, I'm thinking it's that stupid thought process of the scarcity mindset again. If I go for it and I start losing all this weight quicker, I'm going to have to buy clothes. How am I going to afford it? How am I going to do this? It's always worry about things. And I'm thinking, what's funny? I was just saying the same thing not too long ago. How am I going to afford what I need now that I had to get rid of all my leggings, a bunch of my sweatshirts, a bunch of my stuff because they didn't fit me anymore. And I could have worn them, and I tried wearing some of those leggings and they would fall off. I looked like I was sagging. I looked like a patient. Okay, maybe not a patient, but I just looked like, I don't know, like just horrible, because I would have to be picking my pants up, my leggings up, and like all the time I'm walking a little bit and here I go picking it up. It's like, no, this is not right. So I got rid of them. I have the capris for the summer. I have my shorts that I have, which is another win because had not worn shorts in years for all sorts of reasons, because I was overweight, shorts look funny on me, and blah 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 blah. So now I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna wear the shorts. But I kept thinking, how am I gonna afford the clothes I'm gonna need? Because I'm gonna need at least a handful of leggings to be able to wear them, multiple times a week. I need at least, let's say 5 at least, because I have some that might still fit me that are longer, because they didn't fit me. They were too small, but I kept them. And then lo and behold, I am told there's 3 big bags of clothes that I can have if I want them. And out of all of the jeans so far that I've tried on, I've been able to get, I think there's 3 like regular length ones and one like that is more of a capri length. But that's 3 jeans that I like, that covers a good portion of what I need, because and then I can maybe just get a couple of pairs of leggings and wear jeans. You know what I mean? It's like great. It's just, God is good. That's all I could say, because this is all him. This has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with what I'm doing or anything. It's his blessings. And not to say that what we're doing doesn't count, because it does, but we have to, making the right decisions, so making sure that what we're doing is opening those doors, and he opens them and he closes them for us. And it just amazes me how it came at the perfect time, because a good portion of stuff is going to be for the rest of the summer, well, into fall. And there's a lot that I can just wear in the winter as well, layers. But, I'm just so grateful, because, like thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'm worrying about it. And he's like, what I tell you in the Bible, girl, do not worry. And it's like, I need to learn. Worry is not going to get me anywhere. And he always provides what we need every single time. I mean, just like almost everything I've prayed for, I have gotten in one way or another. And maybe not the exact way I thought, and maybe there is some struggles with it anyway, but it's here. I got it. It just amazes me. I mean, look, prayed for a dog that was all my own, because most of our pets were attached to my husband, because I was always in the office working for the most part when we first got them, and he was a delivery person for the optic that we worked at. So he had, hours that he was out working, but he was home more, so they were more attached to him, right? Well, I got my little dog that's all my own, and like he's just the perfect little attachment. Like he's amazing. He's such a good dog, and like that's God. Like, how would my sister and her boyfriend find a dog in a different state, bring him to their home an hour away from me, thinking they're going to keep him? Possibly someone else could have taken him from them, like if there's somebody that wanted a dog. But he came here. He got lost out here after being here for only less than 24 hours. He got lost for like 2 days. We looked everywhere for him, and one day, when that Saturday morning in the snow, and we had a good amount of snow, he just straight up in the yard. How he got back in, we don't know, because he had to push through the gate that we drive through to like squeeze in through there, because there's no other way for him to get in, and he can't jump over. But he was here, he was waiting, and now he's my little attachment. And I'm telling you, this is all God. Everything I have is because of him. And I think of like everything I've lost, everything I've had to give up myself, everything that that was taken from me for whatever reason. He always filled that space with something better. And when I look at the loss of family, my mom, my grandparents, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, my friends, what he's going to give me in return for that is seeing them again in eternity. I mean, how much more could I ask for? Yeah, I don't have them here, and it hurts and it's hard. It's one of the hardest things to lose your parents. I never understood when, like, friends of mine, like one of my closest friends, lost her mom when she may have been 19, and her mom had been sick for a while. And she lost her grandma, she was like, who also lived with them, and another family member, like three family members, really close together, all at the same time. She was pregnant with her daughter at the time, and I think she was still pregnant when her mom passed away. But like, I didn't understand. I like empathized with them, with people who are losing their parents. Like, a lot of my friends lost their parents young. I have older friends too that lost their parents, and I never understood it. And now it's like, it is one of the hardest things, especially, I can't imagine being younger than I was when my mom passed away. Like, how hard that would have been to go through some of this stuff. Even now, you have all the things that I miss about her, and all the things I never got to ask her, all the things that as a woman I'm going to go through that she went through, and how am I going to know what to do, what's going to happen. It's all those things. And just, I know we have issues. I know that we struggle with our parents sometimes and everything. I know there's a lot of things, and I can't begin to understand what other people go through, what their relationship with their parents are like. But if it's in your power to build a wonderful relationship with them and see them, talk to them as much as you can, see them as much as you can, hug them as much as you can, do it. Because there's going to come a day that they're going to be gone, and you don't want to have regrets. You don't want to. I am so grateful to God that I have no regrets, because I spent as much time as I could with her. We did have our issues, but we got over those. We became best friends. It took a lot, and it took a lot for me on my part, I think, because I had to understand some things that made her who she was, and made her maybe parent the way she did, or feel the way she did, or why she held on so tightly. Sometimes we don't understand those things. Sometimes we as children have to take a step back and look at it like, your parents were very young when they had you. Sometimes, whatever, they had a life before you, that they dealt with some things. If we are dealing with some things, and we have to look back at, like, how does it make me react? How does it make me deal with stuff? How does it make me treat others? How do all of that stuff, and take that wisdom and put it into their try to get into their shoes just a little bit, and be like, well, if they went through these things, how would I have reacted? And it took me to step back and be like, God, show me, guide my thoughts, guide my actions, help me to become best friends with her, because I wanted that, and so did she. We just had these bumps in the roads, because sometimes, our personalities, sometimes when we're a lot alike too, it happens. But if we allow that, for God to, like, work in our relationships and be the foundation of everything just flourishes, and it gets so much better. And so when death comes, we have no regrets. And, I want that same relationship with my dad. We've always had a decent relationship too. We've always been close, fine. We've never had very many issues. The same thing with my mom. Maybe with her I had a little bit more, but I think it's because I'm a girl, and we bumped heads a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. But I had a wonderful relationship with her after all the dumb little things growing up and things. It was like, we still were friends, and we still, like, I cannot say that I didn't feel loved by her, that I didn't feel seen by her. There were moments, yes. But when I got to step back and say, why would that happen? Why did that happen? Now I'm able to let it go and just not have any ill will towards that. I was able to understand and finally let it go, because I did forgive her for things that I thought she had done to me. We had, all those things, but I still didn't understand it fully. And when I took some time, like, okay, it makes sense now. I don't even have to hold on to that. I don't have it. It doesn't have to be like one of those things in the back of my head that comes up every once in a while that the devil likes to use to cause some issues with us, And the same, with my dad. I want to build that relationship so we're best friends, and we're close now. And I have to, like, I have to do the same thing with him that I did with her. Take a step back sometimes, understand the position they're in, what's going on. And even though I can't understand it fully, I can give them space and be more understanding, more empathetic, more, and just be there when I can and do what I can. And it's interesting that this went from clothing and blessings to all of this, because this was not on my thought process at all, but it all kind of goes together, because how we see ourselves and how we see our lives and the things that we do, the things that we believe, all shape who we are and how we treat other people. And when we're all stuck and locked up in our anxieties and depression and in this self-hatred and stuff, we treat people badly sometimes, and sometimes we become codependent. We do all these things. I know that's true for me, and it's a lot of stuff to unpack, but you don't have to unpack it all at once. And with God, we can do this. We can overcome these things. And every lesson that we learn, everything that we overcome becomes our testimony, becomes something that we can share and help others with. We can't save anyone. That is not our business. Only Christ saves. And all we can do is be that light of love for them, and not play a role in their sin, but love them in everything, because that's what we need. That's what we want. And we can, share with them how he's changed our lives. Share with that love with them, share the gospel. That's it. That's what we're commissioned to do, is share the gospel. That's it. We don't need to do much else. That they have to go to him themselves. That's the only way. They need to build a relationship with him themselves. That's not our place. Our place is just to live a life that glorifies the Lord, and in so doing, love on others, and just be a light for them. And when they're struggling, if we can help in any way, help. He'll show you when you're supposed to help. He will show you what you're supposed to say and not say. And sometimes it's just being silent and letting them vent to you. Just having a cup of coffee with someone, just smiling at someone, whatever it is. And it'll be healthy for us as well. We'll be able to let go of a lot of the weight that we carry physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because all of that, all of our emotions, all of the stuff that we hold on to becomes physical weight, physical illnesses. And I'm learning that, and it's been a very interesting process, to say the least. But it's wonderful. All of the stuff, even the hard stuff, even the dark stuff, even all those moments where I thought there's no way I'm going to get out of this, or how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? All that stuff. Even those moments are wonderful, and some to be grateful for, because I learned lessons, and I'm still learning, and I'm still growing. And I hope that whatever I share with you on this channel blesses you. And if you have any prayer requests or anything you'd like to share, any questions you have for me, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you. Bye.